In August 2019, I wrote down in my diary that I wanted to achieve a distinction in my HR master's degree by October 2020. And guess what, guys? My dream became a reality and I got a distinction. I found out about it in, I think it was November, end of November or start of December 2020. And I was literally so gassed. Like, I was so happy. So in this video, I am going to share with you some tips and advice that I use myself to gain a distinction in my HR master's degree. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lish Parchment and this is HR Talks with Lish. HR Talks with Lish, where we talk all things HR. Join me on this journey to success as a HR intern to one day becoming a full-time HR professional. Please could you like, comment, subscribe and click that notification bell so that you are always notified when I post a video. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. So for me, the first and the ultimate, the most important thing that you can do for yourself to help you to get a distinction is believe in yourself. Now, I say that because honestly, when I started this degree, as you saw at the start of this video, I wrote down a goal. My goal was to get a distinction. Well, I wrote first class because I just came out of undergrad, so that's all I had in my head. I wanted to get a distinction in my HR master's degree. And I knew from that day that I was going to get it regardless of whatever happened throughout the journey, regardless of anything, I was going to get that distinction. When you have that mindset of I am going to get it, you will get it. Trust me. Obviously, there's other factors involved because you can't just say I'm going to get it and there's no action, but I'll get into that later on in the video. But it's important that you believe in yourself. So write down that goal, write down the vision and make it plain. Because if you don't write down the vision, like sometimes it can get lost like in the whole process of things. But if you write it down and you refer back to it from time to time, like you'll be like, oh yeah, I need to get this. This is what I want to get. I even wrote a note on my whiteboard and it said, I'm going to finish my master's degree with a distinction on the whiteboard. And it was stuck on the whiteboard from the day I started the degree until the day I found out my results. So make sure that you're believing in yourself. Make sure that you know in your heart that you can and will get this distinction. Like, that's the ultimate thing. I'd also say as well, if you're a person of faith, make sure you're praying. Pray. Like, I was praying constantly throughout that year, non-stop. I was praying because I thought that, you know, if I like told God about what I wanted, if I shared those visions and dreams with him, then it would allow me to get a better advantage, allow me to work and put in the action to then allow God to put in the rest and lean on his strength and not just my own understanding. Because I'm telling you, the journey was tough. The journey from start to finish was tough. But that's my first and most important tip. Believe in yourself. Have the energy I have right now. Do you see the energy that I have while I'm talking about this? Do you see that energy? It's no fake energy. This is real energy. So I'd say that my second tip is, if you struggle to concentrate with social media going off, your phone's going off, block distraction. That is the next tip. Block those distractions. You don't need it in your life. So for me personally, when it comes to social media, I'm not gonna lie, I can scroll on social media for hours non-stop. Hours. And I was saying to myself, okay, Alicia, you wrote down this goal. You had this goal, you wrote it down. And you want to get a distinction, right? To get a distinction, you've got to go above and beyond. You've got to go above and beyond. I couldn't be on social media 24s scrolling on my phone non-stop, because that's just what I do and it's not good. It's really not good. So I decided to delete social media. From the start of December to the 10th of February, which was my birthday, I said to myself, Lish, delete all your social media. I deleted all my social media. I didn't go on social media for, how many months is that? 3-ish, 2.5 months, something like that. And it was the best decision I ever made for myself. If you don't want to delete social media, I would say limit the access to social media. You're doing yourself a favor if you do that, because the amount of time that I put in to actually researching specific things for my lectures and my exams and the coursework, the amount of time that I put in, I know I would not have put in the same time if I didn't delete my social media and get rid of distraction. It's really important that you do that, because at the end of the day, like, a distinction, it's not easy to get a distinction. Like, you've got to, as I said before, you've got to go above and beyond. So make sure that you're getting rid and you're cutting off all distractions, because it will allow you to focus. It will allow you to focus. I can tell you that because my first result that I got back from the first term exams, which was employment law, I got 78%. And for me, that's like the highest like grade I've ever had throughout uni, even through undergrad. The highest grade I've ever had, and it was my first grade. And I knew that there was a correlation between me not having social media, not being on it 24s, and me taking that time, that valuable, precious time, and putting it into study. Now, I'm not going to say that I was there, you know, waking up every morning happy as day, like, oh my gosh, I don't have social media, like, I can just do all my work, blah, blah, blah. No, I wasn't happy about it. Like, I was kind of, at that time, I was going through a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I was going through a lot of other things. So I think other things that I was going through did lead me to delete social media too. But yeah, I wasn't the happiest to do it, but I was like, you know what, I don't care. Like, I will sacrifice this time right now, and I'm gonna make sure that I use it and utilize it to the best of my ability. So I definitely, hands down, would say get rid of distractions. If it's not social media for you, what is distracting you? Whatever is distracting you, get rid of it. If that's Netflix, unsubscribe from Netflix. If that's Amazon Prime videos that you're watching, unsubscribe from it. If you're watching Disney Plus, unsubscribe from it for a bit, or just take a little bit of a break from it. I can guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed, because it's time that you're grabbing back. And when you get those results and you open those results and you see in 70s and 80s, you will be happy, trust me. So I'd say that my next tip to help you to get a distinction in your HR master's degree is to make sure that you're asking questions in class. Make sure that you're asking questions in lectures, or you're talking to your lecturers and you're emailing them about things that are not clear. For me personally, and I've realised this because when I was in my undergrad doing psychology, in my first and second years, I never really asked questions like that. I would say that I was shy at that time. I'm going to say now that I'm not shy. I still am, but I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not shy anymore, because I need to say that to myself. That's for me, because honestly, like, I need to get more confident anyway. But yeah, so I never really ask questions, and I really think that it's important, because sometimes we hear what the lecturer is saying and we don't actually understand it. So we go away, and sometimes when it comes to writing your exams or you're doing your coursework, you might actually have the question out of context. You might actually not understand what the question's actually trying to say. So then when it comes down to it and you've handed in your work, you've submitted it, you get your mark back and you're like, why didn't I not get like the best grade I could have? Or why is it so low? It could possibly be because you might have misunderstood the exam question or whatnot. So it's good to go to the lecturers after lecture, whilst in lecture, put your hand up and just give them all the questions that you've got, and they will surely answer it. And also, if you can't find the answer your question from the lecturer, it's also good to look on the internet for specific videos and articles that actually relate to what you're trying to find out, because sometimes when other people explain it, it actually can make you understand it more. So I would definitely say ask questions, explore the topic, the wider topic, go on YouTube, listen to the podcasts, read those articles, and try and come to a conclusion for yourself if you don't understand specifically what the lecture's saying. But the lecturer should be able to kind of like break it down a bit further for you, because yeah, my lecturers were able to do that for me in specific circumstances. I would also say that if you want to get a distinction in the subject that you've picked, you need to be passionate about the subject. Like, for me, I was passionate about HR from when I studied HR in my psychology degree. So this is my story. I studied psychology, and in third year, I decided to pick a non-psychology unit, which was human resource management. Now, I wanted to pick this from the day I started my psychology degree, because for some reason I was just really intrigued by HR. I thought, you know what, this might be a career path that I might go down, but let me do psychology, see what that's like, and then we'll try it out in third year. So I tried out this module in third year, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the information that I was hearing. I liked the challenges and the tensions. I liked the links between employment law and like HR practices. I like to hear about best practices. I enjoyed the subject, and I like how it related to the wider business as well. And that mark, the mark I got in my undergrad degree for that unit, HR, was the highest mark overall throughout my whole degree for the whole 3 years. And I saw in that, I was like, Lish, you always wanted to do this. Like, you always wanted to get into this. Why did you not pick this as your degree? But the fact that I got that, the highest mark out of all the grades, even all the psychology units that I did, yeah, it just, for me, validated that HR was what I wanted to go into, because I found it interesting and I was good at it. So from that, after I graduated, I then decided further down the line, you know what? I want to do a master's in it. I want to get more exposure. I want to understand it more. I want to get the theoretical concepts a bit more. That's why I chose to do the degree, because I wanted more of an in-depth insight. And I knew as well that the uni that I went to, Aston, had a lot of opportunities for career development, because they like to offer work experience. So I knew that the course and work experience would marry together, and it would be a perfect experience for me. That's why I chose to do this degree. Also, I chose to do HR because I just honestly think that giving advice, trying to understand specific and complex situations within the workplace that HR have to deal with, is something that I'm intrigued in. It's something I want to do. I want to be really, really good at in the future. And that's something I'm training on right now in my internship. That's why I wanted to do it. So you've got to look at, like, before you even go into applying for this, is this something you are passionate about? Because once you provide the passion, then the distinction will come. Trust me, the distinction will come. If you have the passion there already, the fire in your belly, ready to do this degree, I'm on it, you'll get a distinction. Trust me. You won't even have to try too much. You will get a distinction. And I feel like because I had that desire from way back when, that's why I was on it. You can ask everybody. When I was in my third year, you can ask everybody. When I did that module, everyone that I knew, I was always talking about HR. Like, at that point, I was always talking about HR. I was like, yeah, I want to get to HR. Before I started my degree, I was reading articles, I was listening to podcasts. I even planned out a vision for the next 10 years as to what I want to do with HR. I had everything planned out, like, before I even started my degree. There's passion right there. What is it that you are passionate about? Are you passionate about HR? If you're passionate about HR, you're going to get a distinction. Like, listen, if you're listening to this now and you're like inside you, you're about to apply for a HR degree, a master's degree, and you're thinking, you know what, Lish has got a point. You've got to have a passion. I've got a passion. I really, really enjoy this subject. I feel like I'm going to be intrigued by it. I'm going to do this. Let's go. Trust me, if you got that belief there, you've got that passion, you've got that drive, you are going to get the distinction. Literally, that's it. I'm not going to lie to you. I honestly think that my time management skills are not the best. They can be better, and I'm working on that right now, because I've always been, even from uni, I was always like a last minute person. And when I was in psychology, last minute cramming was not on. It couldn't work, because even though I did it, I was not getting good grades. For me personally, I was getting like 2-2s and stuff, and it just wasn't working out. I needed to spend a lot more time on it. But I think with HR, like, obviously I'm not saying that, you know, you should be cramming and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, the times when I did cram, I feel like the knowledge was there because I had the interest. So because I had such an interest in it, it was able to, like, I was able to consume the knowledge more. So then when there was times where I did need to cram, or, you know, do essays, like a little bit of a last minute kind of thing, I was able to do that because when I read things on HR, like it just connects with me. I don't know what it is, like I've just got a connection. So I would say, because you know, a lot of people, I'm just going to be honest with you, this is how I got there. So many people would sugarcoat it and say, yeah, you've got to, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but they'll say you've got to make sure that you don't cram at all. There might be some times where you are a bit under pressure and you might have to, but like what I'm trying to say is, and how this marries up with being passionate, is that if you're really passionate about something, it's easier to do well in it. That's what I'm trying to say. But of course I did plan my time out. I did go to the library. I wasn't really an early bird, so I would go library like in the evening from like 8 till 3 in the morning. Sometimes that's how I like to operate. So it just depends on your style. But for me personally, like I made sure that I planned out specific days to go to the library and had a time frame of where I wanted to do certain things. But then sometimes if I had to cram, because I was working as well at the same time, like part-time and stuff, there might have been times I needed to cram. I was able to do that because I had the knowledge there. I would say though, if you are like doing a full-time job, because for the last month of my degree I was working an internship full-time alongside writing my dissertation, then you need to make sure you got everything put together. Like I think me having a full-time internship and writing my dissertation allowed me to actually get myself together and be like, okay, Lish, come on now, you need to make sure that you understand what you're doing. You need to have a plan. So there was times where I did plan out the content that I needed to get done on a specific day, and I made sure that like I wrote a to-do list, put down exactly the tasks that I needed to do, but wrote the specifics of what I needed to do, because then you're more inclined to actually do it when you specifically write down exactly what you need to do for that time frame. So I would literally go to work, and then after work I'd come back and spend 4 or 5 hours working on my dissertation. So there is times in the degree, there's going to be times like throughout the whole degree where you're going to have to make sure that you are properly managing your time. But all I'm saying is that if sometimes you are a bit of a crammer here and there, if you're passionate about the subject, cramming is not that bad, because you can retain the information better if you understand and you're interested in it. So guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want me to kind of go over a more specific video on how I got my distinction, then please comment down below and let me know. I would really appreciate if you told me what videos you'd like to see from me in the future, because I'm trying to show up for you guys. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.